Good afternoon, I'm Chief Meteorologist Sabrina. It is warm outside. In fact, temperatures in El Cajon into the upper 70s, mid 70s in Mira Mesa. There is a cool down in store. We'll talk about it on the flip side of the break. See you then. Frigid temperatures where you have to really bundle things up. But we will notice our temperatures slowly dropping down to seasonal for us. We're going to take us back down to seasonal, most likely arriving in about the next 2 days. So we still have an upper level high pressure system that is in place. That is keeping, look at this, the whole system further out to our north. So it's bringing the clouds out over toward the Pacific Northwest, but really not much to Southern California. Tomorrow our winds are going to begin to move a little bit more onshore, so the coast will see a small drop in temperatures. And I think once we get closer to Wednesday and Thursday, more noticeable as we head through the inland areas. Hour by hour forecast for you, starting you off at about 6 o'clock tonight, staying with mostly clear skies. The lower 60s for the coast, inland areas, the same thing. Now usually we wake up at around 50 and we're just a smidge above that, going for around 52 degrees into San Diego and inland areas on into the upper 40s. Another day of gorgeous sunshine, primarily for inland areas. The coast might see a few thin clouds. I think this model a little too cool, so go ahead and add about 4 degrees to what you're seeing here. So we'll go for the mid 70s out toward Del Mar. Another day Mira Mesa on into the upper 70s. Fast forward on into Wednesday, and yet again noticing those temperatures slowly going down, but still staying above average, I think, until we get to the end of the work week. Coming up, we'll talk more about E6 currently out toward El Cajon, Fallbrook, also on into the lower 70s. Looking across the country, notice how it's also fairly clear out over toward Florida. Frost advisories are up for them, where temperatures are forecast to fall into the low 30s tonight. Tomorrow in Orlando, only working their way to the low 70s. We will be warmer than that at our beaches. Also dealing with a little bit of a storm system coming out over toward New England and moving across the Great Lakes. You can see the area shaded in purple. Winter weather advisories are up. Boston's anticipating 2 to 4 inches of snow, whereas Detroit anticipating around 2 to 3 inches of snow. That advisory until Wednesday afternoon. Also for your relatives out over toward Montana, dealing with a winter weather advisory for Billings, 3 to 6 inches of snow. But in Butte, they could actually see around 8 to 12 inches, and into some of the higher mountaintops, 24 inches of snowfall, and that lasting through Wednesday as the jet stream keeps those storm systems further to our north, and we just see plenty of sunshine and warm air, at least until we get to the end of the work week. So if you are doing a little bit of surfing tomorrow, fair conditions for you under golden skies. Your swell to the west-northwest, 3 to 4 feet, high tide coming in at around 10:40 in the morning. Good evening, I'm Chief Meteorologist Sabrina. Temperatures today about 12 degrees above average. Coming up, I'll tell you how toasty temperatures tomorrow will get. We'll be right back. When you take a look at the map, Florida even under a frost advisory across the country. Temperatures for us here not off by too much. By 1 o'clock looking at 73 degrees already, and at 6 o'clock now on into the upper 60s. Inland areas are also dealing with fairly pleasant conditions. Beautiful sunshine keeping our temperatures above average. Starting our day at about 51 degrees at 8 a.m. working our way already into the upper 70s by 1 o'clock. These values continuing to be close to 10 degrees above the norm and staying clear skies free at 6 p.m. at around 67. According to the Climate Prediction Center, for the next 6 to 10 days, Southern California stretching all the way through Texas and Florida, they should also see a little bit of a warm-up. We'll go 5 to 15 degrees above normal. There's about 1 or 2 days we'll see those temperatures dip. Coming up in the next half hour, I'll tell you which days they are. Guys.
All right, Sabrina, thank you. And
we still have this upper level high pressure system that is forecast to be pretty much right over Southern California. That's producing a lot of the warm air. It is sinking air, hard for clouds really to grow. The one little difference for tomorrow is we will see a very weak onshore flow. And you know, anytime we get those winds off of the cooler Pacific, we start to see our temperatures drop slightly. So for the coast first, maybe by about, I'd say 2 or 3 degrees compared to where you were today. And then as we head through Wednesday, more noticeable for inland communities, but not quite reaching seasonal until we get to Friday. So we still will stay well above the norm. The cool down, by the way, is forecast because of this low pressure system still headed to the north. So we're not pretty much going to get much rain, maybe only a 10% chance of precipitation from that as we wrap up the end of the work week. Temperature wise, still delightful. 7 a.m., you know, normally we're right around 50 degrees and we're going for 53 into Del Mar. So close to that. that. Inland areas around the upper 40s into lakeside. Mountain communities close to 40 as well. Now fast forward this into the afternoon, and I think this model is just a little too cool. So go ahead and bump up by about 3 degrees the number here for your city. So if you're in Poway, I think you'll be closer to 73 by 1 o'clock. If you're out over toward Oceanside, closer to 71. Chula Vista closer to about 74 degrees. Now once we get through Wednesday, that onshore flow is a little bit stronger. So inland areas are going to see another little bit of a cool down. 71 out toward Lakeside, the same for you into El Cajon, and the upper 60s into Chula Vista and Otay. Values, though, still continue to be fairly comfortable for us until we get to, once again, Friday, when we start to notice slightly coolness in the atmosphere, although by the time we get to next work week, anticipating another small warm-up. Heading into the waters, doing a little bit of surfing, fair conditions for you with your swell out of the west-northwest, 3 to 4 feet, high tide coming in at around 10:40 in the morning. Water temperature, though, cool, only 56 to 60 degrees. 7-day forecast, 74 degrees tomorrow, Wednesday 69. Now seasonal for us is 6